Okay, so I've now got my little latte. This is my new favourite Starbucks drink. This is an iced chai latte and it's so good. I'm with my friend who's not coming on camera, but she got, this is so great. This is a strawberry acai refresher and it is banging. Today's video is actually going to be about me being in hospital. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that I was in hospital for only a day. Like, it wasn't like I was in hospital for like a week or anything, but yeah, I didn't really explain what happened on Instagram. I kind of said that I was in hospital. Like, I'm one of those people where I posted that I was in hospital just because that's something that I would do. Like, I know a lot of my friends would just not post about being in hospital, but me, I'm just quite like that, where I did post that I was in hospital. Then obviously after that, people were kind of like, why are you in hospital? Do you know what I mean? So I thought I would just sit down and explain. I don't want this video to like put anyone off, or, you know, I'm not trying to be like the vaccination, you know, the vaccines are bad or whatever. I'm not saying that at all. I'm still very much for the vaccines, even though what I'm about to say is quite like scary, I guess, but I'm not trying to scare anyone at all. If you think you're going to be scared by this, or if you're having your vaccine soon, maybe don't watch this. But I'm just personally saying my experience, and also I think this is very, very rare. I do know a few people that have kind of had the same thing as me, but I think this is quite rare, so I wouldn't like worry. Where do I start with this? So basically the date that I got vaccinated, where's my card holder? Is it here? When was it? 16th of August. So, oh my god, that was over a month ago now. So basically, let me undo this as well. That's better. I got vaccinated on the 16th of August and everything was fine. Like, I had a little bit of a temperature after the vaccine, but after 24 hours, like, I felt alright. Like, everything was fine. And then probably about 2 days after I had my vaccine, I started having these really, really bad heart palpitations, and I didn't really know why. Like, I knew that I was a little bit kind of like stressed or whatever, but I don't know, like, it was really weird, but I didn't really think that much of it. I was kind of just like, oh, like, it's probably just stress or anxiety or something. So I just didn't think anything of it. So I left it, and then obviously on that weekend, I actually went to London and I felt completely fine. Like, I was out drinking and stuff and I was completely fine. So I was kind of like, oh, it's probably just like anxiety. Like, it can't be that bad if I'm fine today. Probably like a week or two had passed and I went out for dinner and I was driving and I was on my way home. I literally felt completely fine during the day. Obviously I was still having these palpitations, but it wasn't anything like bad. And I was driving home and all of a sudden I literally like blacked out for like a few seconds. It wasn't anything bad, like too bad. Like, it was literally probably about 4 seconds and then I was back, but I went really lightheaded. The person that I was with said like my gear change went really weird, and luckily I was at a roundabout. Like, I wasn't on a busy road or anything, so I was kind of like going slow anyway. But yeah, that really, really scared me, and at that point I was kind of like, something must be wrong. Like, surely this is probably related to the palpitations. So luckily I was really close to Morrison's, so I just like pulled over at Morrison's. And I'm quite like a freak about my health anyway. Like, I would say that I've got quite like a bad kind of like anxiety about my health. So my initial like reaction was, right, I'm gonna call 111. And if you don't know what 111 is, it's like the non-emergency like doctors, really, isn't it? Isn't that what? Yeah. So I called them.
Out of hours.
Yeah, it's like an out of hours thing. It's not for like life-threatening things. Like, obviously, like if you're like dying, you call 999. But I called 111 just because I kind of wanted some advice, and I just wanted to know like what their opinion was of it, because that can't be right. And I didn't want to drive after that anyway. I was like, oh my god, like I was really frightened. So I called them and I was on hold for like half an hour. Like, it was so bad. And they basically said to me, yeah, you need to be seen by someone probably within the hour. And they told me that they booked me an appointment at the hospital, but they didn't. Like, it wasn't an appointment, it was basically just A&E. So they told me to get to the hospital for 11, which I did. So I went there. I actually went with my mum, but she wasn't allowed in, which was great. Like, you're just not allowed anyone in at the moment, which is really, really shit. So I went to like the A&E bit. There was quite a few people in there, like it was quite busy, and they'd like do your blood pressure and they ask you those questions. And then I sat down for a little bit. When I was in there as well, like there was someone kicking off. Basically there was like a guy and he was with his daughter, and I think, I don't know, like there was like this whole massive like drama going on. I was just like, oh my god, why am I here? But I said to them, I was like, I've got an appointment at 11, and they like literally laughed at me. They were like, it's not really an appointment. Basically, I think if you call 111 you get like a fast track. So I was waiting 4 hours. She basically told me that it would be 4 hours instead of 6. time was actually going really quick whilst I was in A&E, like it was really weird. But my concern was like I didn't have like a phone charger. I love how that was my main concern. I didn't have a phone charger and I didn't have anything with me. It was literally just me and my phone. I don't know why I didn't bring anything with me. In my opinion, I thought I'd be there for like half an hour and they'd be like, nah, you're okay, go home. But I had to wait for ages, and then I initially had like one ECG scan. They came in probably after about an hour of me waiting. They took me to like this little room, they did like an ECG, that's where you like lie on a bed. And then they put loads of stickers on you, and I just wasn't wearing like an appropriate outfit for that. So basically like they probably saw my entire like tit, because they have to put stuff like down your top, and like it just wasn't very comfortable. And they like put stuff on your legs, like these little stickers, like literally everywhere on your body. So I had that, and they just didn't say anything. That was literally like 5 minutes, they didn't say anything. And then I had to wait again literally for about 3 hours. It was so ridiculous in like this little room. And then finally I had like some bloods taken, which I don't like blood tests. I was literally like dreading it. So they took some bloods and they also put a cannula in my arm, which was awful as well, so awful. So I had that, and then after that, so probably about 3 AM by this point, how long have I been talking for? 7 minutes. Yeah, it was about 3 AM and they took me like, I don't even know what it was called. It wasn't a ward, it was not a ward, but it was kind of like, I think it was like an A&E type assessment like unit. So I was there for ages, and at this point I was so delirious because I was so tired, because I never normally awake past like 1 or 2 AM, so it was like 3 AM and I was just so out of it, I didn't even bloody know. But bless them, they like offered me like biscuits and like drinks and stuff. They were really nice in there, to be fair, but they weren't really giving me like any answers. Like initially when I had the blood test, I said to them, I was like, I am on antibiotics, so I don't know if the passing out could have been related to that, but they didn't really like care. And at that point I wasn't even thinking about my COVID vaccine. Like I should have probably said I had a COVID vaccine, you know, a few weeks ago, so maybe this is just because of that, but they didn't bloody know. So anyway, after like hours, it was probably like 5 AM by this point, I couldn't sleep at all because everyone was being like so loud, and it's just not a nice environment to like sleep in. And I had like a heart monitor on, so I couldn't like roll over, and I had this cannula in my arm. Like it was just awful, I couldn't sleep. Anyway, about 5 AM this cardiologist guy comes in, and he basically says to me that I've got like a positive heart enzyme, and I don't know anything about, you know, stuff in the body really. So my initial reaction was like panic, because he said to me that you've got a slight cardiac issue. And in my head I was like, great, that's just great to be told you've got an issue with your heart. So I think my first like response, I was like, is it dangerous? Like you need to explain what it is, because I don't know what it is. But he didn't really explain to me what it was. He just basically said, we'll redo the bloods in like 4 hours time and then see if it's still positive, then go from there. But he said to me there was 2 options. I could either stay in hospital just to be like monitored, or do more bloods. No, or go, was it? Or I think it was do more bloods and just go home. But anyway, then he came back and was like, no, you need to stay in hospital. So I was like, great. Like that was the last place I wanted to stay. I've never stayed in a hospital before, and because of obviously like COVID and stuff, it's difficult with like people visiting, or like no one could stay with me. So yeah, it was really not good. Just look at her Starbucks drink. Anyway, getting distracted. What was I saying? So yeah, I got put on a ward finally, but I was literally with people that were so unwell. Like I was quite well to be there. Like I didn't feel like I had to be on like a ward, but I was there for hours on end. I literally ended up being in hospital for about 24 hours, and they weren't really like giving me much information. Like I know they're really overstretched, like I'm not trying to blame them or anything. I know they're really busy and stuff, and there's people more ill than me, but my concern was that I had just been told that I had like a cardiac issue, but they weren't really saying like if it's like dangerous, like what they could do to help. Like they weren't giving me anything really. So by this point it was probably about 6 AM and I was on the ward, and the annoying thing is, you know, like old people wake up really early, so I wanted to go to sleep, but these people were just waking up, so I was like, this is just great. And then what happened after that? I had blood taken again from my hand, which was weird, and I had a cannula in my arm. I don't know, at this point I was just like, whatever. Like I think at this point I literally don't even have like a phobia of needles anymore, because of that episode. Like yeah. Anyway, after that, I don't even know what happened. I was just sat there like literally just being ignored for 24 hours. No one really said much to me, and I remember like I was so upset because I started crying. I don't know why I was crying. I think it's just because I didn't want to be there. I was really tired and I couldn't sleep. My phone was dying and I was just crying, and like a nurse came in, but she like completely ignored the fact that I was crying. I thought that was like so harsh, considering I'm not like old, like I know I'm not really young, but at the same time, like I think I just wanted someone to like talk to or whatever. But anyway, this woman just ignored the fact that I was literally bawling my eyes out. And you know when you're like crying but you're trying not to cry? That was like me. I was like, oh my god, this is so embarrassing, but I literally like couldn't stop crying. Anyway, another annoying thing is that I had my like curtain shut and they kept coming through it to come to the person next to me, and I was just getting so vexed about that. It was so annoying. And then I started dozing off to sleep after this, so probably about 7 AM, 8 AM, and the same woman comes in, wakes me up to be like, do you want a warm drink? And I was literally like, I was asleep. No, I don't want a warm drink, thank you. But anyway, after that I had some food. I didn't even have their food there. The main regret of my life was ordering scrambled eggs at the hospital. I can't eat scrambled eggs now because, oh my god, I can't even explain. They smell like fish. Nah, worst day of my life. In my head I thought I was going to get like scrambled eggs on toast or something. No. It was scrambled eggs on a plate. It was awful. I didn't eat that, and then they started like saying to me, like, you need to eat blah blah blah, and I was like, yeah, but I don't want to eat stuff like this. So my mum came in at about 10:30, because with corona you have to like call up and like book a slot, because obviously everyone on the ward can't have visitors at once. So my mum came in at about 10:30 and she bought me like stuff. She bought me like some snacks and stuff as well, which was good. But yeah, I still wasn't really getting any answers, so I was in there until about 3, no, it was later than that, it was like 5, when this cardiologist came in again and basically said to me, I don't even know what he was saying to me. First of all, they were on about me driving because they were worried that if I passed out whilst I was driving, obviously you can't drive. So he said to me like, do you think you full on passed out, or do you think you were just like lightheaded and dizzy? So for the sake of me driving, and because I was feeling all right after that, I just said, no, I think I was just kind of like dizzy. Like I was kind of there, like I wasn't completely like out of it, but yeah. So I can drive. I didn't drive for a week after they told me just to not drive for a bit, so I left it a week, but I didn't pass out or anything in that week. So now obviously I'm driving again. This video is so long, 30 minutes. Anyway, after that, after he came in, he was like, yeah, you can probably go, but we'll have to book you in for like an appointment with a cardiologist just to do some more tests and like just to wear like a heart monitor and that kind of thing. And I was like, yeah, it's completely fine, I'm gonna burp. So about 5 o'clock they discharged me, but no, I wasn't discharged at 5 PM. So I sat there for about an hour, and I wasn't really sure what you're meant to do when you're told that you can go, because obviously I had a cannula in my arm, so I can't just go home with a cannula in your arm. So I waited for a bit, and then I went to go and ask the nurse, and she kind of said to me like, oh, you need to wait for like a discharge like note or something. And I was like, oh, okay, no worries. Like, how long do you think this will take? Because obviously I had to get a lift from the hospital. She was like, I really don't know, like it can vary, like with the different doctors and stuff, it just depends on their workload, blah blah blah. And I was like, okay. I didn't end up getting out until 9 PM, so it got to about 8:30, and I was like, this is so ridiculous. Bearing in mind, I hadn't really eaten, hadn't really slept. I was in the same clothes as the day before, like I didn't have any clothes to change into or anything, so it was so annoying. And then at 8:30 I told my mum, and my mum actually phoned up and was like, what's going on? Like, not blaming them at all, because it's not the nurses or anything at all, it's just like the doctors, and like obviously they're overstretched, etc. But they ended up discharging me without like the actual discharge note, which was a bit weird. But anyway, that came through the post, so that was fine. But yeah, after that I went home, and I've still kind of been having the palpitations since. So what I did was I booked in with a private cardiologist. I was initially going to go NHS, but I just wanted things to kind of be quicker for me. Like when it comes to your heart, it could be a bit dodgy. So anyway, I just booked an appointment with the private cardiologist, and I saw them last, what day was that? It was last Tuesday. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. So I went to go see this cardiologist, who was really, really good actually. He kind of, basically I just explained what had happened, like what had been happening, like the palpitations, and me like blacking out momentarily, is that a word? Oh no, there's another car coming out. Why? Anyway, I explained what had happened, then he wanted to listen to my chest, and I was really happy because the whole time that I was in hospital I didn't have the palpitations. I think it was because I was like lying down, and obviously when you're lying down your heart isn't pumping as fast, right? So I didn't have any in hospital, which was why they didn't really pick up anything on like the ECGs and stuff. But I was really happy that he wanted to listen to my chest, because as soon as he listened to my chest I had a palpitation, and he said, he was like, oh my god, I just felt that one. So he said to me that recently they've been having a lot of people, like younger people, coming in with that, and it's 99% certain from the vaccine. So I was like, oh, that's just great. So my initial like reaction was like, is it going to go, like, is it a permanent thing? And he said to me that it should go within like 5 to 6 weeks, and it should go without medication, which is good. So basically what I have to do is I have to go back for like an echo, which is like an ultrasound basically on your heart, and I have to wear a monitor for a week, which is going to be fun. But he said it's more than likely going to go by itself, which I really hope it does. But obviously it's a month now. I'm not having them as much, like at the moment it's not happening or anything, but they are kind of like on and off. But yeah, they think it's because of the vaccine, which is just great. And I put it on Instagram yesterday because I'm just the kind of person that can't keep stuff to myself. Even though my family were like, don't post about it, blah blah, but I want to make people aware, you know. So anyway, I posted about it, and lots of other people had actually messaged me to be like, oh my god, I've literally had the same thing. And I think it's more common in men, but obviously I would get something like this where it's not common in girls. Anyway, I'm going back to the cardiologist at some point, so I'll probably do like an update, but I'm not trying to scare anyone. As I said, this is really, really rare, and it's not dangerous. I've asked, it's not dangerous. It's basically just like an inflammation of your heart. And he explained to me like the rhythm has been interrupted or something, and he said there's like 4 chambers of the heart, and the way it's beating is just not like this. It's like, you know, something different, I don't know. Anyway, apparently it's not dangerous, so, you know, but we'll see, I guess. But I just wanted to explain because, as I said, I wasn't going to say anything, but I think it is important to raise awareness of stuff like this, because if you do like feel like you're having heart palpitations, you just put it down to anxiety. Like, it could actually be what I've got. I think what I've got is like a mild case of myocarditis, and if you Google it, a lot of people are getting it with COVID. No, the COVID vaccine, Pfizer. But I guess we'll see. Like, I feel alright. Like, it's not like I feel unwell. I do get tired sometimes, but I don't know, we'll just see. But I just wanted to make everyone aware that this shit can happen. And in the back of my mind, I'm kind of like, now, like, I wish I waited a bit to get the vaccine. Like, if you're thinking about getting the vaccine or whatever, I would probably wait until like more information has come out, like on side effects and stuff, because obviously if this isn't permanent, that's fine, but my worry is that it won't actually go. But anyway, we'll see. So yeah, that is basically why I was in hospital, what's been going on and stuff. So yeah, this has been educational, probably not. Hope you guys enjoyed. Give it a thumbs up if you did, subscribe down below for more, and I'll see you guys next time with another brand new video. Bye guys.